Okay, I'll try to make this short again. I keep trying. Anyway, uh, the double feature I saw on Saturday, being the Ricardos. That was a good docudrama movie, whatever movie about the Ricardos. There have been other numerous behind the scenes making of movies about the show and the couple I Love Lucy, about Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. My mom actually told me that Desi Arnaz is the guy who invented all this stuff about the tapes and the camera setup and everything. And I thought that was rather pretty interesting that he came up with all that stuff. I thought it was just the actor. But yeah, he came up with all this stuff. So that's why the show looks a lot better now than all the other shows like Dick Van Dyke and everyone else. Their shows kind of are a little fuzzy because the tapes didn't really last that long, quality wise over time. Anywho, uh, it's a little it's a little jumpy and time wise. It's a little non, because you'd be in present time and then you'd be in, jump back to, you jump to the future about the writers and talking about certain scenes, and they would talk about a certain moment in the past, and then we jump and see that past moment, before the show. So everything that they show outside of it is post and pre-show. You know, the modern day interviews on the pre-show events, and then what you're watching is during the middle of their one episode take during the red uh, the communist scare. Ooh, the Red Menace. Ooh, they're gonna come in the night and steal your shit with warrants. Ooh, all that stuff. So, um, they get through all that reasonably well. It was a little distracting that they have this guy trying to be Desi Arnaz or Ricardo, and it is just a little distracting. But you get sucked into the drama really good. You really care for these characters because they really bring in all the heart and soul and drama into it. So you get pretty swept away in it. So you kind of fairly easily, early on, just kind of drift off the fact that he's a really poor, you know, stand-in for Desi Arnaz. Unlike this guy, unlike this guy, remember him? Radio, the original Rhodey. Seriously, I'm supposed to buy that he's supposed to, you know, be O.J. Simpson? Is like, no. Someone should ask me to play O.J. Like seriously, like it does not work. But anyway, so yeah, I gave that an A plus right there. And then I went and saw West Side Story. Now, West Side Story I saw back in 1992. Yeah, 1992, because I was in the central buildings of elementary. So yeah, that would be 1991, 1992, something like that. And or maybe 1993, I forget. No, yeah, no, 1992. 1991 or 1992, I don't know. We came here in 1990, August or October or whatever of 1989 in Rialto. So anyway, so we got you know all this stuff, and all these movies, strange movies, not as weird as the stuff we read, but whatever. Um, but they showed us West Side Story, and I thought that was really well. It's a tragedy, and I didn't like dealing with tragedies. I still don't like dealing with tragedies, but the songs were nice, and the choreography was rather pretty dang good. And then all these years later, I saw West Side Story, the remake by Steven Spielberg. And when I first saw that, I was like, wait, is that a West Side Story? Or something like West Side Story. And then it says it is West Side Story. And it's like, ooh, okay, you're doing West Side Story presented by Steven Spielberg. And I'm like, okay, if he's in a good mental state, that would be awesome. That's a good team up powerhouse right there. if he can pull it off. If he's not like regular modern day, okay, there has been effect. Apparently, you were great, and you can't do it again. Why? I don't know. Maybe you're too old. Maybe you try to touch with the youngsters. I don't know. I don't know. But there's been a lot of trends where Lucas and even Spielberg and everybody else kept trying to make films, and, just crank them out, and they suck hard. And you're like, ugh. But anyway, wait, what? You think I'm kidding? What? You think I'm kidding? You roll your eyes. You don't think I know? Where is it? Ah, yes. Here it is. What about? Dang, I just had it. Right here. Ah, anyone remember this? Yeah, LucasArts made that. That was his after he sold Star Wars to Disney. That was his little passion project to fill in the void afterwards. Yeah, yeah. So what? You think everything he touches turns to gold? Please. Backgrounds were fantastic, by the way. Uh, so yeah, West Side Story. I got bored and was checking out hard because I've already seen this story, and it's a variation, it's a modern variation of Romeo and Juliet. So I knew where every story beat this was going to go. But what really grabbed me and helped me was the passion behind the songs. And yes, it does suffer from the story song, much like Popeye over here, I believe. Um, or it'd be scene, song, scene. You get the point. It's annoying, Like every time there's a scene, there has to be a song with it. But this is a lot less annoying as opposed to Popeye. Those scenes, well, the scenes are there, but then when the song kicks in, you're like, why are they singing? There's no point to it. There's no necessity to it. That's why they cut out half the songs for the TV broadcast, which is what I like because those were all a lot more necessary to the plot because it's kind of more sending the mood. As opposed to this, it's like you're singing every time you turn around, needlessly. It's like you can't just let a scene be a scene and then go on to another scene and then have a song. Because no, we have the scenes, we have to have a song. It's like, criminy. But anyway, this doesn't really suffer from that because they convey so much emotion, necessity emotion. Because these are everyone internally is screaming to express how they feel, a yearning, a longing, a passion, and the metaphor a lot for the dance hall sequence and near the beginning was pretty much that you're fighting yourself. You're basically your alternate race equivalent. Similar to that of Maniac McGee, if anyone knows. Maniac. There, there was a kid named Maniac McGee, and there was a scene, not a scene, but it was a part in the story. It was a book. I don't think anyone made a live action version of it, but where this or Maniac McGee kind of becomes a sort of like living legend. He's able to do like somewhat of impossible tasks. But anyway, he hears someone, walking in time with him as he's walking down an alleyway, and and every time he stops, the other person would stop. Then when he would go, they would go, and he kept trying to understand what that is. Like they would stop, turn back, walk back to where they were, walk straight again, and then he figured out somebody else is doing the exact same thing in time he is, unbeknownst to each other, that they're that who the other person is, but they just hear these other footsteps in time with theirs, or just barely out of sync with theirs on the next block over or the next alley over. So they were kind of confused as to why is this person doing the exact same thing I'm doing. So it's a lot like that. I thought, or maybe I'm reading into it. I don't know. So basically, they're fighting themselves, and it's like, and we gotta prove ourselves that we're men. In terms, but it's basically the showcasing of boys being, there's no oversight. The only real adults sell them a gun. The only other elderly adult there is basically tells them, dating not your race right now in this hotbed is not exactly, you know, a bright thing to do. But there's no adults. Like, where are the adults? Shouldn't there be adults here? Like, no, these are all youngsters with no parental supervision whatsoever or positive role models. So you get the Lord of the Flies thing again, where it's like, we gotta be men, we gotta be masculating, go, you gotta be toxic masculating, and no one thinks that this was going to end well. You know, what? People died? How did that happen? Well, I don't know. Maybe it was the knife in the guy's heart. Maybe that's what killed him. You know. So they're morons trying to act like adults. Masculine men because we is men and we don't take shit like them. It's all that masculinity and then where to get them. You know, nothing. It just destroys them. These aren't people anymore. They're basically just shells of human beings. And so, what did it get them? They're not financially secure. There's a bunch of kids without jobs, really. So it's like, what, what, what was the point of all this? Pointless showboating, which got 3 people killed, and that's possibly somebody pregnant, maybe. I don't know. It ends before it ever explains if it does, but yeah. But what really gets me is the song, the passion, the fact. And I was checking out hard because remember, I already know this. It's been there, done that, yawn. But the songs, like they just said, we are going to scream this at you, and we are going to reach across this damn, out of the screen, across this damn theater, right to your heart. Damn it, because that's what we plan to do, and that's what they did on a lot of the songs. Was uh, they reached out and it's like it just they projected so hard that they reached the one guy in the theater. I think it was just one guy in the theater, and and touched your hearts, and it's like wow, that's some damn good singing there. And yeah, it really shows where toxic masculinity can lead you, which is again with nothing. You ruin yourself because you think you need to stand tall against people who are basically your mirror copies or your slightly alternate copy. It's like, did you really need to do that? And this isn't like really the Warriors. This is just, you know, these are just people trying to act tough because they believe they need to. So it's a really good, you know, um, lesson in toxic masculinity. So I liked it. Um, yeah, A+. I mean, I was floored throughout the whole thing. Every time there would be a good song, despite the fact I've seen it all before, literally in elementary. So yeah, though I can't imagine these people not winning any award, or even in the music section. It's like they got to at least win something in that, in cinematography, choreography, um, music, leading character, best actor, best music. These people have to win at least something. I mean, the movie is pretty dang good. All right, I gotta clock out. This is taking too long. But anyway, yeah. So, Meet the Ricard is good. Meeting the Ricardos is good. A+. West Side Story, as played out as it is, this version is really good. It's really, really, really good. I highly recommend it. Dune, not so much because there's not even a part two, as far as I'm aware. That's not even greenlit. So how can you have a part one if part two is not even greenlit? That's just nutty. Whatever. Anyway, D boy out. As always, stay at the movies.